Did you know that 1 in every 147 New Yorkers is currently homeless? In fact, now in the dead of winter, take a walk through any borough and you'll likely encounter people living on the street. This crisis has reached record levels not seen since the Great Depression. In New York City, homelessness is up almost 40% from just last year. And with even more opting to live in the city's streets, parks, and alleys than in its shelters, nearly 4,000 people as of July, the most since 2005. And according to a recent report by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the number of people living on the streets rose to 3,936 in 2017 from 2,838 in 2016. So, why are homeless New Yorkers refusing help? And what is the key to ending this citywide crisis? Here to help answer some of these questions and more, we're delighted to have Christine Quinn joining us.
Thank you.
Christine, it's always good when you come to join us here. You bring your perspective, former New York City Council Speaker, you're a homeless advocate involved in your organization, WIN. So you get to look at this from a lot of different perspectives. I think the first question, and it's staggering, I think, to hear that homelessness is up almost 40%. I think most people, if you grabbed them on the street and you asked them about it, they said, okay, we're working at this. We're making some progress here. Why then up nearly 40%?
Well, the truth is we are working on it. And the truth is we are making progress. But yet homelessness is still up, which I know makes no sense to your viewers. But this problem is so significant and so impacted by things like the prices of housing in New York and other issues that it is going to take time to fully get us out of a crisis state. Now at WIN, Women in Need, which I run, we focus on homeless families. And it's important for people to note that in addition to the homeless you see on the street, and you don't see families on the street because it's a crime to have your child on the street like that, 70% of the people in shelter, 70% of the people you talked about are families with children. In fact, 25% of the people in shelter tonight in New York City are 5 years of age or younger.
Has that changed dramatically in the recent past?
It has not changed dramatically, no. But, it changed since the beginning, right, in the 80s and early 90s. But I'd say in the past, 5 to 10 years, no. But most New Yorkers don't know that because you don't see homeless families on the street. In fact, we call our families, and our job is to change this, the forgotten face of homelessness.
Well, it's interesting you say that because, again, I suspect if you asked anybody out in the street, they'd say, well, I saw a couple of people, recently when I was walking down the street, but they would not have any notion of the fact that there's so many families. Because, as you said, they don't see them.
Right.
So how do we get that message across?
Well, honestly, shows like this, where we can just have a conversation about homeless. The work of groups like WIN, we last year did a public service campaign, very simple. It was a mom and her kid, and the mom's schedule, and it was go to work, pick up the child, go back to home to cook dinner in a shelter. And that was the jarring part of it. One of the 70%, right, in the shelters are families. We saw last year at WIN, the average stay was 15 months. The year before that was 11.1 months. Now, the length of time in and of itself doesn't concern me because we want people to get the services they need to be able to succeed living independently. But the increase, and we had really been at a year or so for quite some time, the increase is part of why the numbers aren't going down, because the exit door out of shelter is not as wide as it once was. So affordable apartments that people can just find and rent with the jobs they have or jobs we help them get, that number is evaporating and shrinking.
You mentioned something that I think is important for us to talk about. I would suspect, again, that most people will associate homelessness with being unemployed.
Correct, they do. And I understand.
But what's the reality?
Over 51% of the mothers at WIN come to us working. But they couldn't afford their rent.
What does that say?
Well, it says that we have a real mix of economic conditions in New York. You know, the recent job report nationally had some good numbers, but when you get into the underbelly of it, a lot of the growth was in minimum wage jobs, right? So you have minimum wage jobs growing. So the level of New Yorkers who are making not enough money to live on growing, and apartment rents growing higher than that. There's not a real easy way to bring that together. Now, that's where the city's subsidized housing programs come in. The housing authority or vouchers that the city gives homeless people to pay part of their rent. But there's a huge waiting list for housing authority, and it's hard often to find landlords who will take these vouchers. Some who are just completely discriminating, and others who are, it's a complicated program, what if they cancel it, et cetera. So that's another reason the length of time is growing, because people are waiting for subsidized housing because they can't find affordable housing. Now, one of the big things we do at WIN, which not every shelter does, and certainly doesn't do in the way we do it, is income building. We're very targeted.
What does that mean?
Well, we call it income building instead of job training because so many of our mothers have jobs. It's kind of disrespectful to say job training. Our goal is to help our families grow their income. But we don't do that in kind of an esoteric way where it's just education or just resume writing. We're on tracks with industries who are doing real job training to their sector and then interviewing and employing our mothers. So Gourmet Garage pulled together Whole Foods and Fresh Direct, so we have a culinary tract. The Hotel Workers Union and their president, Peter Ward, we're starting a track with them about housekeeping jobs in union hotels. We want people to leave with a job that we know can pay the rent.
So it's more than just putting a roof over somebody.
Totally.
When you're going to address and resolve a problem, you need to have political will to do it, and you need to have sort of a cultural buy-in.
Right.
And I think you mentioned now that there are some partnerships. Are you seeing that grow?
Oh, I will say certainly we are seeing the interest of corporate New York and corporate America grow tremendously. You know, we have companies like PepsiCo, who we would be lost without. They are the main funder of our income building program. I mean, they've been terrific. We have companies like BlackRock, Toys R Us, big names that people would know, Coach, Kate Spade, who are supporting us in multi-year ways, as well as, you know, the philanthropic community. But I think companies are really stepping up because this is their city. And one of the best things they need to be good companies is to have employees that want to work for them. Employees want to work and live in cities they feel good about. And people don't feel good about a city if there's homeless people.
Is it fair from what you're saying here that there is still cause for optimism?
Oh,
Don't just look at the numbers.
The thing I want us to think about as a city is how do we reduce the number of people who come back? Because that's another reason the number is too high, because we haven't enabled shelters with the resources they need, and in some cases, the time they need with people to make sure they're ready to succeed independently. And that's something I would love us to measure ourselves on, because think of how horrible it is to go to intake at the Department of Homeless Services as a person or with your children. To go twice, that's soul crushing. What we say to people is, we don't want to see you again until you come back as a volunteer.
Christina, again, it's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll keep coming back
Absolutely.
here. Your group, WIN, doing wonderful work. And as you
Thank
said,
you.
a lot of people out there, we'll get you back to some more and get an update on all this.
Great, thank you.
Be well.